My watch is 6 o'clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mayhem Media podcast, affiliated with Mayhem Media. I am your host, as always, the Media Maverick, Mike Weldon, and today I'm joined by a very special guest from Mayhem Media, their own, the one and only Connor Clarkson.
Michael.
Connor.
Feels weird being a guest on this podcast, but okay, we'll go with that.
Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me at a time suitable to me, because obviously I wait for no one. People wait for me.
No one waits for you, darling.
So obviously you've got me here for a reason. So
we're gonna be talking about your backstory and how everything came to be with Mayhem and the one and only Connor Clarkson.
So it's basically an episode of This Is Your Life. Gotcha. Right. What do you want to know first then, sir?
Well, how did your wrestling career start?
How did it start? I mean, it started about, I think it was roughly 7 or 8 years ago when I first did my first training session. It wasn't professional wrestling back then. It was amateur wrestling, or as you guys on that side of the pond call it, college wrestling.
Okay.
And essentially it started from there. Like, I've been training with a lot of different people, some of which I don't train with right now for reasons that we can go into later. But it basically started from there, and then once it started, I've then been pretty much all over the country. I was in Ireland a couple of years back, and then it was last year that I made my debut into the States.
How was it being in the States wrestling and then being in the UK?
I mean, it's different. Obviously, I've never had to travel 10 hours on a plane to get to a show before. So there is that. We had some complications on the way back. JFK lost my luggage. That was very interesting to deal with.
It was. It was, I'm sure.
Because for basically 2 weeks, my gear, some very expensive suits, and my laptops and everything were left in luggage. And I was like, so I've got a couple of $1,000 just casually floating around an airport. Not exactly what you want to do when you've traveled back from a show and you want to just get back into your own bed and just chill.
Jeez. So how did you come up with the name, the one and only Connor Clarkson?
Honestly, it was by accident. Like, I think the way it was I had this idea that I'm the only one to do it the way I can, obviously with the disability. And then we built on that, and that was basically how the nickname, the one and only, came about.
Yep.
Yes, there is my beautiful logo, one of many.
Yes, it is. That is your current version. For those that don't know, this is his old version.
That is the wrestling logo. Yes, there is a subtle difference between the wrestling logo and the podcast logo.
There is.
There are many different versions of me at many different various points of time.
Oh, yes, like this one picture right here.
Oh, yes, the difference between babyface Connor Clarkson and heel Connor Clarkson.
Mm-hmm. Very two different people.
Yes, definitely. One was quite happy just wearing gym shorts in the ring. The other turns up in our suits.
And goes to the clubs.
Yes, I am very well supported in my local clubs.
Yes, there's been many a times where I've had to get a hold of you and you've been in the clubs.
I mean, people try and get hold of me all the time. It's not nothing special. The fact that I didn't pick up a phone to you, I don't pick up phones to many people.
Yeah, I'm sure. How are the clubs like? Not to get a little off topic, but how are the clubs in the UK? Like, if you've been to the ones in the UK, you've probably been to ones in the US. Are they any different?
Honestly, they're all right, but on a Friday they are dead as shit. No one goes in there on a Friday. I went in there literally yesterday, and I think I counted 12 people.
That's crazy for a Friday night.
Saturdays are always busier where I live.
That's because here in the US, like some of the bars in the city I live in, they're always hopping every night of the week.
Yes, but in the States you also have Vegas.
Yes, another city that never sleeps. Yes.
Yes, like me, another city, like another me, just never sleeps.
Yeah, and how? Speaking of your gym shorts, you starting out in gym shorts. I have to bring this up. I have to show this picture. It because we've
Oh.
talked about it.
Oh yes, the Muay Thai shorts and the ring jacket that I can't believe I'm going to say this looks like a trash bag liner.
It just reminds me of the jacket that AJ Styles used to wear back in his TNA days.
Yep, the old TNA style.
That's what it reminds me of.
I still have that jacket somewhere. I no longer use it. It does not fit one's, I suppose you can call it style, but who knows?
Maybe you have to break it back out sometime and bring it on an episode.
I mean, you give me 5 minutes, I can quickly change out this suit and put it on just for shits and giggles, but you couldn't pay me enough to change out of one of my suits.
Man, you wear many different suits. I've seen many pictures of you in your suits, especially like this one right here.
Oh,
With,
yes, Wiz Beach, King's Head, August 30th last year. My return to the town on a night out to celebrate getting a match in the US.
one of one of your very many suits, your black and gold suit.
Yes, I mean, the black and gold suit is, without doubt, probably one of my favorite. I have more suits. I talk to more of my suits than I talk to more of my family.
Yeah, like you weren't right now. You're wearing your blue,
Yes.
very sparkly blue jacket.
I mean, this is quite tame compared to some of the suits I have in my closet.
Now, how is it being a active wrestler with your disability?
I mean, I've had companies that have accommodated the fact that I have the disability, and we have learned to adapt and evolve said wrestling style around the disability. And then obviously, unfortunately, we've had companies and promotions that have not decided to let me adapt between styles.
Yeah, I've seen one of your old training videos of you running the ropes.
Which one was this?
I could not tell you right off. I think it was on your Instagram page or your Facebook.
So I'd be the one where I was in the boxing ring, just essentially fucking around.
Yeah,
and just shaking off a little bit of ring rust.
Yeah, I just noticed in your legs, like how they like you have cerebral palsy, and I've actually used to date a girl who had cerebral palsy, so she has the same walking problem as you.
I mean, here's the thing, and I've definitely used this in the ring, and I've used it to my advantage, which is kind of how we transitioned from babyface to heel in the first place, right? People would obviously cheer the guy coming out with, and this is not going to sound politically correct, but wonky legs, and essentially got right behind him. But then when they started to notice the fact that, oh yes, I was using my disability to get an upper hand, that's when it started to turn, and that's basically where heel Connor Clarkson came out. Yes, that version of Connor Clarkson. God, that is a sexy picture. I do say so myself.
It's a very professional. It looks very professional.
Little bit of backstory if we're going to pull back the curtain a little bit, let's say. That was taken in a furniture department store.
Well, you got a good shot from there, so maybe they should sponsor you.
My grandmother knows how to take photos very well.
We'll have to get grandma on sometime and let her tell the stories.
Oh, God, no, you'd be sat here for hours. Love the woman to bits, but she could talk way more than me.
So what led you from being the wrestler into, how did that lead you into doing podcasting?
So it was about 18 months ago that I joined Mayhem, maybe a bit longer than that now, but before it was Mayhem, it was the Nerdic Pro podcast, which I believe I started working with them from, I want to say 2021, right?
Okay.
And it's run by a person I know that has been there through the ups, through the downs, and the bits in the middle. And he was one of the first people that did an episode on me regarding my disability. And then I started doing just bits and pieces with him. Then I was doing episodes and series with him. Then, for unfortunate circumstances, our relationship broke down. So obviously, what was best for business was me leaving them. And then fast forward to, I want to say, March, April of last year. I had an episode with, I believe it was State of Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
And that was the first episode I did in the States, or technically with a company that was in the States. Or it might have been a Friends of the Squared Circle. I've been on plenty of episodes. I can't remember which one was first. My apologies. And then from there, obviously the guys at Mayhem saw it. They invited me on for an episode. We got talking about my wrestling career, obviously me being a professional fighter. And then we did an episode, I think it was like a month or two later, that was more regarding the disability side of it. And then for some reason that I cannot remember, here I am 18 months later, a legend of podcasting as well as a legend of wrestling. So
you said you've been on many different podcasts. I know you've done stuff with Wrestling Society Network and Friends of the Squared Circle. How did those relationships come to be?
Honestly, it was just the fact that we had at the time a mutual connection, which obviously was the owner of the podcast, JD. And then it just went from there of, if you're available, would you like to come on an episode or two? And that's basically how it happened. It was just start from one person and start and then carry on. And then obviously, just keep broadcasting further and further around.
Okay. I know So with Mayhem, I know you do a lot of the wrestling content with like prediction shows and some watch alongs.
Yes, you would know that, seeing as you are part of them, Michael. How very
I am.
observant of you, darling.
Yes. Right now the show you do is called Call for the Bill.
Yes.
How did that name come to be?
I don't know how much I'm meant to talk about this, but obviously it's me. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. Like, who's gonna fire the disabled guy? Again, using the disability to my advantage. One of the many benefits of my career. So essentially, we had this show called Into the Barricade. I'm sure you've heard of its history.
I have.
And then the guy who, for reasons we're gonna leave out, left Mayhem. So then we still wanted to kind of like carry on the concept of what was Into the Barricade. So we just rebranded, repackaged, and relaunched, and we ended up with Call for the Bell because it was a name that we all agreed on that we was able to use because no one else was using it, and it fit into the lines of what the show was about.
Yeah. I know. So outside of the Call for the Bill, do you do a lot of the other content that Mayhem produces?
So with me, obviously, within the last 18 months, I've worked very hard to get where I am in Mayhem Media. I am the executive host and producer of the prediction show part of Call of the Bell, the review show of Call of the Bell, and the discussion show of Call for the Bell. So Call for the Bell is basically my show. It all runs through me. Obviously, I'm in charge of it. Like, we do the discussion show every 2 weeks on a Sunday, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's noon Eastern. I've been working for Mayhem for 18 months. I still can't get used to the fucking time zones. It's thrown me this long. It will continue to throw me as long as I am living in the UK. John, win the lottery, fly me out to the States, and my life will be a lot easier.
So with the prediction shows, how are they like? Do y'all? I see a lot of the prediction shows only cover the main roster, PLE, pay per view, whatever you wish to call them. Does Call for the Bill ever see in the future doing predictions for like NXT or other promotion pay per views?
So, obviously, with the way that Call for the Bell or Into the Barricade, whichever version you want to call it, started, we started with WWE because obviously, yes, you have AEW, you have TNA, you have Ring of Honor, you have all of these massive promotions, but obviously WWE is still the number one, right?
Yeah.
It is still top viewed all over the world, globally, internationally, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So we thought, okay, WWE is probably the best one to start off with. And obviously that's how we started doing the review show for Raw, SmackDown. We have recently started to cover All Elite Wrestling in those discussions.
Yeah.
But as far as it goes with the prediction show, it's more, okay, so WWE's got a premium live event. What we normally do, and obviously this is done between me and Jacob, who takes care of all the research and the graphics for the prediction show, because he knows I'm a very busy man, not just at the club, but also with my training. So he understands that that's his side of the work. And then all I have to do is put on a suit, look sexy as fuck, talk shit for 30 minutes, and carry on with my day. But obviously the PLEs are on a Saturday. We tend to shoot either the Wednesday or the Thursday, depending on what schedules are like and availability. And then obviously that gives me up to 24, maybe 48 hours, enough time to go through it, make sure it's good, and make sure that nothing needs editing out, make sure that nothing needs adding in, all of that shit ready to basically upload it. Like, I believe we do it an hour before SmackDown releases. But unfortunately, with WWE, they like to add the last minute matches a day before the show. So obviously, if we don't know that that's happening by the time of recording, we obviously can't talk about that match because we ain't time travelers.
No. Now, with the discussion shows, if you don't mind pulling back the curtain on that, what goes into getting those shows together?
So, obviously, you've been involved in a couple of these shows yourself. You obviously know as well as I do the enormous amount of work that goes into producing one of these episodes of this series. But as it stands, somewhat ironically, we basically, it's every 2 weeks, so it's bi-weekly. It's always the same time, roughly Sunday at noon Eastern, or if you're like me, 5 o'clock in the evening, because we work off our time zone and nothing else. I am not here to educate. If you want to learn the different time zones, Google it. I ain't here to educate tonight, bitches. So, thank you, Paul Heyman, for that line. But normally, on the weeks where we don't have the show, obviously, everyone involved in the show, you, me, JD, maybe Jacob if he's available, or sometimes when we have a guest, we'll kind of like try and get all of them into a production meeting a week before the show to essentially go through what we want to talk about. And obviously, if there's anything we want to talk about, how we're going to talk about it, the graphics and the visuals we're going to need, the timing, obviously how long we're going to spend on each segment. And that essentially makes the show that you watch. A lot of people don't realize there is a lot of production that goes into not just me looking sexy, but the content I produce.
So after the production meetings, what if like the week of the episode, something big happens? Do you still cover that, or is it just for the next episode?
If there is enough time where we can get the visuals and we have something we can speak about there and then obviously we will speak about it during that episode. If not, we will then leave it for the following episode.
Okay. So what if the pay-per-view has like a 2-night event? How does that work for prediction shows?
How that works is unfortunately very hard for myself. I'll use the example of WrestleMania 41.
Yeah.
That was a big event. Obviously, WrestleMania is the biggest event of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, with that being a 2-night event, you've got a prediction show for night 1.
Yeah.
You've got a prediction show for night 2.
Yeah.
So, the way we'll do that is normally, like I said, if it releases on a Saturday, we'll do the episode and the production on a Wednesday. Same with obviously if it's 2-night event, the second night will be on a Sunday. So we'll record the prediction show on a Thursday, right?
Okay.
And normally what we'll do is we will have night 1. We'll go through the match cards, and obviously because normally at that point 2 or 3 days before said PLE, especially if it's a 2-nighter, they would have released what matches are on the card for what night.
Yeah.
So obviously, the night 1 prediction will run through the night 1 card. Same again with when we do the night 2 predictions, we'll run through the night 2 card. And normally, the way I've always done it is we'll release night 1 on the Friday, just before SmackDown. So that'll be for night 1, to then give people 24 hours to watch it before, obviously, night 1 kicks off. And same really for night 2. So obviously, we'll release night 1 on the Friday, night 2 on the Saturday. And WrestleMania 41 was a really big kick up the arse for me, because I had to record night 1 on the Wednesday, record night 2 on the Thursday, release night 1 on the Friday, release night 2 on the Saturday, do a 5-hour watch along for night 1, a 5-hour watch along for night 2, and then a Raw after WrestleMania watch along on the Monday. So I believe all in all, it was about 16, 17 hours worth of recording or streaming in one single week, but it was a lot more than that in production.
That actually leads me to my next question. Like, how do watch-alongs work with you being in the UK and the rest of Mayhem people being in the US?
So obviously, with me being in the UK, as you know and understand, everything is on this wonderful thing called Netflix.
Yep.
So all I have to do, I think, is pay like $10 a month or the equivalent to that to essentially watch everything, which is a lot better than what you lot in the US have to do with your ESPNs, your HBO Maxes, and all of that shit. So luckily, and I think I gave you the little hint of use a VPN because it will save you a shit ton of money. So even if I do move to the US, trust me, I'll be using a UK VPN to save myself a shit ton of money. More money for the clubs.
That's what I've been doing.
More money for the clubs and the females. Can't forget the females. The females are a very big part of my life at the club, as they are now. There is always more than one way to get a second person on that mobility scooter driving up to the club.
So, is there any way for...
as a few of my female friends are well aware.
So, are there any ways that people can support the one and only Clarkson?
I mean, I could just send everyone a PayPal and you put as much money as you want, but obviously we have my merch. I believe you have the visual. Yes, the beautiful visual I made you at 4:00 this morning that has my original design, the Mayhem design, the call for the bell, and obviously the travel mug, which I believe that travel mug could fit a shit ton of whiskey in it. What do you think? That could definitely fit a shit ton of whiskey in there.
Says the guy that's not an alcoholic anymore.
I was never an alcoholic. I'm just coming off the alcohol for training purposes. Because you cannot drink while train as much as me at the same time, and unfortunately that has proven correct. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy a lemonade while in the club instead. It's a lot cheaper. More money to spend on.
So how did you get so high up in the Mayhem leadership within the last 18 months?
Honestly, just grinding my fucking ass off. Like, before you was even a thought in Mayhem, you wouldn't believe the long fucking hours that I worked to get graphics and shit done, because this was before we had people like Jacob doing the graphics and shit like that. I was doing the graphics. I was pretty much doing everything I can. And obviously, JD saw this and was like, okay, let's put him in this position and see where he gets. Because now, look at me, I'm executive host and producer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now the chief content officer for the entire wrestling department.
Just want to take a second. We appreciate that, Superfly Johnny Lee. We got a comment from them. They're saying, doing great, guys, from the Nice Guy Andy podcast.
Much appreciated, brother.
Yeah, if y'all haven't, make sure y'all go check out the Nice Guy Andy podcast. They're good friends of Mayhem Media.
Yes, they are. But obviously, going back to supporting yours truly. Obviously, you can support me through Mayhem on subscribing at Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. And I also earn a nice little kickback from the merchandise that I sell. So if you do want to walk around with a t-shirt with my wonderful sexy face on it, then go to www.bonfire.com/store/Mayhem Media Shop.
Yeah, that is one of the old visuals. We are in the process of updating to a new visual to use, but that is some of the stuff is still there, some of it is not. So if you want to get some Mayhem apparel, make sure you get it before it's gone.
And if it's gone, then just steal your friend's sexy t-shirt picture of me. That is also allowed. I will not press charges if you steal shirts that have already been paid for.
So how did JD reach out to you? Like, did he just reach out to you after you were on a couple, or how did that come to be?
So, I believe it was very shortly after I did the Friends of the Squared Circle episodes.
Yeah.
He obviously, at the time, watched the episodes and obviously took note of the fact that I was international. And it basically started from there. Because I'm going to pull back the curtain a lot on this one. Excuse me. Essentially, JD picked up on the fact that during that episode, there was not a lot of discussion regarding one's disability. And I'm going to say it as plainly and as simply as I can. Obviously, to those that have seen me driving Ruby May up and down the streets like he stole the fucker, it is not hard to miss the fact I am handicapped, as they say. So, with that being said, essentially, we took that and we made it into an episode. And then, obviously, JD learnt that I did the professional wrestling and other various mixed martial arts, and essentially took that into an episode. And with that being said, obviously, people saw the fact that we was revealing the curtain, so to speak, or touching on real life things, and people enjoyed it. It picked up a lot of engagement. And then I slowly started doing more episodes and more episodes. And then obviously when I became a full-time member of the team, that's when obviously we decided to launch, as it was called, Into the Barricade, which then transcribed into Call of the Bell, which is now what it is, which then obviously gave us the prediction shows, the review shows, and all of that shit. And then, because he's seen that I have a good sense for business, I know what's best for business, both for my career and for the company.
Yeah.
He gave me a certain amount of trust and level of independence within the company to essentially take this thing and build it into my own, which is part of the one and only brand as well, because I'm pretty sure you've seen it in the intro of Call of the Bell. It does now say a one and only production.
Yeah, I have.
I was given this opportunity, so to speak, and somewhat ironically, as I say this, don't break character, Michael, because I probably will. But I essentially took the ball and rolled with it. They see me roll. Composure.
So, not only do you do the call for the bell, but you've also, I don't want to go too far into this rabbit hole because I know where it can lead, but you've also done some of the other episodes that are under with JD under his Boiling Point podcast flag.
Yes, we have recently released a segment of Wheelie Good Talk, which obviously, for those that don't know, JD is also in a wheelchair device.
Yes, he is.
And with that being said, we thought, as well as this being real life, let's do something that's going to bring some entertainment and essentially name it a Wheelie Good Talk.
That's actually a future episode I have with JD where we're going to talk about his disability.
It will be a very good episode, trust me.
So, how I don't want to get too far because I do want to do another episode with you, but how does cerebral palsy happen? Like, how does it develop?
I mean, I can go into it for a long fucking time, and obviously you can sit here, but I will not be sitting here at 1 o'clock still talking about the fact of why I'm fucking handicapped. Because free entry to the club finishes at midnight. I want to make sure I'm there just in case. We never know what one night stand might happen.
So I know you've been talking about it throughout the episode. Your mobility scooters. How does your insurance? I know insurance in the UK is different than insurance in the US. Is. Does your insurance cover your mobility scooters?
So with me in itself, like it's like a car or a bike, or any sort of motor vehicle that you get on finance.
Yeah.
And with the way we've done it, obviously, I'm very smart when it comes to obviously the insurance side of it and the legal side of maintaining and upkeeping these vehicles.
Yeah.
Even though I've gone through more mobility scooters than Katie Price has gone through boob sizes, but that's a conversation for another day. She loves the plastic surgery just like I love the mobility scooters. So essentially, it's with the cars as well. You obviously pay a certain amount a month for the car.
Yeah.
Which is just the flat price for the car. And then on top of that is the insurance. So obviously, depending on what level of insurance you want, it obviously depends on how much you've got to take out your back pocket and be like, yeah, that's for the insurance, that's for the motor. Let's just put it all in one price and put it all under one direct debit bill rather than me having to think, okay, so the car payment, well, the mobility scooter payment comes out on this date, so does the insurance comes out on that date, so does the road tax, because yes, on some of them you still have to pay fucking road tax, even though you don't drive them on a road. It's really interesting. It's a grey area. And obviously, with me, I've obviously opted to basically what's preferred to be called as an all-in plan. So it's one lump sum per month, which includes obviously the price per month for the vehicle, the insurance, the breakdown cover, the 24/7 support, even though it's not 24/7. And basically everything gets put into a lump sum, which I pay every single month. And honestly, it gets so fucking expensive sometimes. Like, you would not believe the prices I've paid for some of these things. Like, but that's if you get it on like a finance agreement.
So did you always start out with a mobility scooter, or did you start out using just a regular old wheelchair?
So I started using a wheelchair up until I want to say it was like the age of 9, maybe 10 is when I transferred into the electrical side of it. I don't know what you guys call it, but I was pretty much finishing primary school, which I believe would be your elementary school or some shit. I'm not going to get into a conversation about that. But I was about 9 or 10 when I went from manual wheelchair, where some poor fucker has got to push you around all day and is basically your chauffeur, to essentially an electric wheelchair, which is a wheelchair with batteries on it and a little joystick so you feel like you've got some better independence. Because I tell you what, the amount of times I have heard the word independence and confidence from fucking specialists is unbelievable. It's amazing. It's like they think because the legs don't work, the brain doesn't, right? And they talk to you like you are some sort of special twat. Honest to God, like, I say it how it is, and if this offends people, then sorry, not sorry.
So
you choose to listen to this. No one's forcing you to.
So with your case of cerebral palsy, can you walk like short distances, or do you have to use your mobility scooter for almost everything?
I mean, I can. Obviously, I've got the crutches and the walking aids and shit like that.
Yeah.
And this is actually really interesting to think, because I've obviously had these electrical equipments for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of made me lazy to the point where if I don't have a mobility scooter, I will just get an Uber instead.
Yeah.
Rather than just walking. And part of that comes down to time. Part of that comes down to comfort. And part of that just comes down to, okay, if I know I'm walking this far, I'm going to end up spending X amount of time in bed for recovery, which makes no fucking sense at all, because I will happily put on a pair of wrestling boots and elbow pads and knee pads and roll around a fucking ring for 3-4 hour seminars, but I won't walk to the fucking shops. I'll get an Uber to the shops. It's somewhat ironic, definitely, but it's just the way it happens.
So you mostly just, the most you walk is probably when you're in the house, correct?
Essentially, yeah. I've been known to walk longer distances. Like, there was a time where I didn't have a mobility scooter for a good month and a half, maybe 2 months. And I essentially still put on my fucking suit and walked to the club and back.
I know you're probably exhausted though.
I mean, let's be honest, the alcohol definitely helped the walk back. But by God, in the morning, did I not feel stiff as fuck. Which again was why, for anyone that knew me during that month where I had no mobility scooter or wheelchair that was suitable for said daily needs, I was essentially just getting Ubers everywhere. And I've said this to a lot of people, and I'll say it here as well. Like, fucking, when I didn't have that mobility scooter, I couldn't go to the fucking gym. And everyone that knows me knows I go to the gym pretty much every fucking day that I can. And
So
I
the
lost a
cerebral
lot of strength between when I went to the gym every single day to when I finally returned after nearly 2 months.
So the cerebral palsy, does that affect like when you're in like relationships with people?
I mean, this is one that's going to make it sound really shit. And I'm just going to say it how it is. Yes and no, right? Because obviously you get the people that don't give a fuck and will love you regardless of the disability. Like, quite a few of my friends in that area. And then you get the ones that really just don't, purely because they don't want to be seen in a relationship with, and I'm going to say it, so apologies if this offends anyone, but a spastic. That word has been thrown around quite a few times.
I don't know. I get it 100% for the people, because now I don't really air this out a lot, but I don't have cerebral palsy, but I have ADHD, and I get really like, there's times I can't be around lots of people because I get so overwhelmed. I get overstimulated real quick.
Yeah. And it's funny you mention that, because when I'm in the club, I've got my corner on the couch, right, where I put my feet up. I've got my whiskey and my Coke. I'm sat there just enjoying it, and I'm just like chilled out because I can't be arsed with so many people around me at the same time, which is really weird when you see me out drinking. But yet you can put me in a ring in front of probably 1,000, 2,000, fucking 5,000 plus people, and I'd be perfectly fine. I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is something that I still don't work out how the fuck it works, but it works. Because obviously, and I know there's a few people that's going to be watching this from my side, because they have especially seen me. Shout out to every single night I've had at the Rutland, where I became the undisputed Jaeger Bomb champion. 10 Jaeger Bombs in less than a minute. Thank you for that video. It was very nice. Thank you for crowning me the undisputed Jaeger Bomb champion. But there's also been times where I've sat there and I just won't speak to anyone, and I'll just isolate myself in a corner and I'll pretend to be interested, but I'm really not. But yet, you see me in a fucking wrestling ring, I'm having the time of my life, and there's way more people watching me than in the bars. I'm just like, okay, because here's the thing that I've learned to fucking do, right? And I've learned to do it, and it's really weird, because essentially, I've learned to, when I'm obviously in the ring and when I've got people watching me, because I have got a shit ton of confidence, right? I have. But for some reason, I'm so fucking self-conscious when I'm training and in the ring and shit, because at the same time, I don't want people to fucking judge me because of the disability. I want people to just sit there and enjoy my style of wrestling, which is kind of why before professional wrestling, I did like the jiu-jitsu and the fucking amateur wrestling and just shit like that, because that gave me the style that I brought to professional wrestling of, okay, I could sit there and have a 15, 20-minute technical match without even using my legs.
Yeah.
It's because of that I've been able to adapt the style of, okay, I don't need to use my legs. Let me just take this motherfucker down and wrestle him on the ground, fucking Kurt Angle style, for 15, 20 minutes. And no one would think I've got a disability because it's all groundwork. And obviously, with that being said, I've learned to essentially block out all these people watching me while I'm essentially in my underwear fighting grown men.
I know, and not many people know this about Connor, or I didn't know this myself either, but Connor didn't always used to be what his name, the one and only Connor Clarkson. He used to be called Hard Paws Connor Clarkson.
So the Hard Paws nickname was still part of the one and only gimmick. It was something that Mayhem created. The Hard Paws part of the one and only gimmick was something that Mayhem created. Right? And it all boiled down to no one could introduce me correctly. They always used to rush. It was the one and only Connor Clarkson rather than the one and only Connor Clarkson. And I had to spend, it was a long fucking time with my colleagues to sit there and essentially break down the announcement of my name. And essentially I was like, okay, you need to pause between the one and only and Connor Clarkson. And then no one could understand how long they were meant to pause. So JD just blurted out, it needs to be a hard pause. And that's how the nickname started. Because none of you American fuckers could pronounce my gimmick.
So, also, something else I didn't know, like, when I was making the title for this episode, you spell your last name different depending on what you're using it for.
Yeah, so obviously my government name, and this is a shoot, is Connor Clark with an E, right? But obviously Clarkson doesn't really look right when you spell it with the E. So I kind of told the E to execute itself so it looked a little bit better than just Clarkson with an E.
It looks better without the E. It looks
Yes.
It looks because I was gonna put the E on it, then you told me, oh no, that's not how you spell it. It's not
because you rang me
my
at fucking
professional
2
name.
a.m. and kept me on the phone till 4:30 a.m. And how many times did I have to correct you on some of these visuals there, Michael?
Enough to say you're a wanker.
Listen, you may be a wanker for free, but I charge at least a tenner.
I heard you're a tour.
Go fuck yourself. Go have a shave, and then you might be on the same level as me.
See, I'm a country boy, so us country boys, we like our beards.
Tell you what, go start training in a wrestling ring. Give me a shout in about 2 years' time, and then maybe we'll see who's better.
All right, city boy. Don't you have some tea and crumpets to go drink and eat?
I could say something, but I'm really fucking not because it will get me cancelled.
So, going back to one of the things I've been asked, where your suits are they like custom made suits, or you just buy them as they are already?
Honestly, like nothing I buy is custom made. It's more if I like it, I'll obviously try it before I buy it. And it's the same. It's weird because it's this. Sorry, am I boring you?
No, I just had to yawn.
You're free to leave, and I'll take over this episode, and I'll do it in fucking style, bitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially when it comes to my suits, like if I like it, I'll try it on. If it fits, I'll buy it. Like especially with this one, it's not needed much alteration to it. It's pretty much fit exactly as I bought it. I've had to make the cuffs a little bit shorter, but apart from that, like I'll buy it, and then if it needs alteration, I'll get it alterated. After.
Do you buy your suits from like a tailor shop, or like where do you buy them from?
Honestly, I just buy them from standard clothing department stores, and then if I need to make alterations, I'll drive the 25 minutes down to the tailor's in the mobility scooter, or I'll get an Uber, depends on the weather, because those mobility scooters are not made for fucking rain, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know, and it rains quite a bit in the UK.
Yes, unfortunately, it happens while I'm driving back from McDonald's. But no, as it goes with suits,
there's a thing called DoorDash.
Fuck you. As it goes with like the clothes and shit, none of this is tailored. Even the black and gold one, I bought as is, because if I try it on and I like it, and it's the same with when I'm buying gifts for people. If I don't like what I'm buying, even though I'm not going to wear it, I just simply won't buy it.
Okay.
But as you can tell, I am a massive fan of jewelry and watches. As you can tell.
Yes, you are. And you got the chain too. Don't forget the chain.
Yes, I do have the chain. I am thinking of getting a bigger chain, because it just either that or just another chain, because it just doesn't look right on its own. It needs a romantic partner to go with it.
So, if you had to leave anyone who's watched this episode, or anyone who's going to watch it on the replay, if you had to leave them with anything, if it was just a regular person, if they want to get into content creating, or someone with a disability that wants to get into professional wrestling or content creating, what would you have to leave them with?
So, in terms of the professional wrestling, right, my first advice is don't just jump for the first fucking training school you see, right? Look at what's in your area, and look at them, look at their background, look at the trainers they've got, especially if they've had any famous trainers and coaches. Look at what they've done. Like, instead of just going on Google and going, hey Siri, look at fucking wrestling schools, and picking the first one you find, go through a list and compare them against each other and look at what fits your needs, rather than jumping for the first one you see. Because I made that mistake early in my career as well. I was there for 3.5 years, I didn't really get much out of it. But we'll talk about that on our episode in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But as it goes with obviously wrestling with a disability, I'm going to say this. Ignore every single cunt that wants to shit on you. Do it for you. Don't do it for anyone else. Do it for you. And honestly, just have fun while you fucking do it. Like, don't feel that just because you've got a disability, you're automatically going to be judged and treated differently to anyone else. Like, I know I was. And then about 6-9 months in, I was like, listen, at the end of the day, yes, I have wanky fucking legs, but I'm the exact same as every single cunt in this room. I've paid my money to train, and I'm going to train. Yo, Jacob, what's going on, brother?
What's up? Yep.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone who wanted to like join or start their own podcast content creating, what would you say to start out doing? Or if they wanted to like work with people who are already in the process of building something, like be a part of something.
Honestly, just shoot me a message and fucking join Mayhem. Because then you get to have wonderful conversations with this man. The last true, genuine article of professional wrestling.
Because I'll say this, like I've been doing this for almost 6 years on and off, and everyone thinks it's easy to start a podcast or just be a content creator. It's not.
Legit. It's better that you join someone that's already made an impact, let's say, or made a name, rather than trying to start something from scratch, because that will take longer. So, yeah.
Well, I want to thank my guest for today, the one and only Clarkson, for coming on and giving me some of his time on this Saturday, because I know he's a very busy person and I'm a very busy person because I have a very busy recording schedule this weekend.
Yes, we have a call for the bell tomorrow at noon.
Yes, and I have two, and I have 2 more episodes today to shoot with Mayhem.
Oh yeah, you're pulling triple duty, aren't you? You've got the Halloween episode, and then you've got another episode with another member of Mayhem Media.
Yeah, Miss Pa.
Yes. I was going to leave that for a surprise, but you ruined it.
Well, I've already shared it out, so it's not a surprise.
What's Jacob put? Just want to jump in and support my best friend and brother, Connor Clarkson. Thank you very much, Jacob. Much appreciated. And obviously, soon we will get the planning sorted for the Survivor Series prediction show as well.
Yeah, and also be looking for some of the Mount Rushmores coming from Mayhem Media as well.
Speaking of which, I've still got to get yours filmed as well. So let me know when you're free. We'll probably do it tomorrow after calling the bell. And
again, as always, I've been your host, the Media Maverick, Mike Weldon, and this has been the one and only Connor Clarkson.
Connor Clarkson.
And this has been a Mayhem Media podcast production. And thank y'all. And make sure y'all catch us on the next one.
Ta-ta and farewell.